It's a muscle type of injury, I was told, one that responds to rest a little bit, which is why I think it took a little longer. But given that fact, I think there's an argument to be made, why rush it for Saturday when you get 3 days till the next game? Mm-hmm. The Leafs, aren't in one of those situations where their schedule is going crazy in this exact moment. So, I don't want to say he's 100% back on this game, because you're right, it is a mystery.
More bad news has hit Auston Matthews and the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the timing could not be worse. Matthews missed his 5th straight game, and the Leafs lost again, making it one of their worst stretches of the season. The update on his injury brings even more worry, and the team is falling fast without him. This latest development changes everything for the Leafs right now. Auston Matthews was ruled out again because of a lower body injury, and the team still does not know when he will return. He skated recently, but coaches said he is not ready for full game action. That uncertainty has become a major problem for the Leafs, and it keeps growing with every game he misses. The Maple Leafs faced the Montreal Canadiens without Matthews, and the results showed the impact of losing their top scorer. Toronto was beaten 5-2, marking their 7th loss in their last 8 games. The team struggled to create chances, and their defense could not keep up. The absence of their captain made everything harder, and people wondered how long this could continue. Coach Craig Berube said Matthews is coming along and improving, but he also admitted there is still no timeline for Matthews to return. That means the Leafs must keep playing without him for now, and that creates even more pressure on a group already facing tough results. Before getting hurt, Matthews had 14 points in 17 games, with 9 goals and 5 assists. Those numbers show how important he is to the Leafs. Without him, the offense looks different. The rhythm disappears. The power play changes. The pressure shifts to players who are not used to carrying as much weight, and that leads to even more questions. The injury came after a hit by Nikita Zadorov in a game against the Bruins. Matthews left during the 2nd period and has not returned since. At first, the team believed the injury was not serious. Now, it has lasted much longer, and the long wait brings even more concern. Some experts said Matthews still does not look close to full speed yet, and that added to the growing worry around the team. A new rehook forms here. The Leafs are now trying to stay steady while missing their most important player, and each loss makes the hole deeper. With 7 losses in 8 games, Toronto is facing one of the toughest stretches of their season. The pressure inside the organization is rising. Analysts are now talking about possible roster changes, and trade conversations around the team are starting to grow. This does not mean Matthews is part of a trade rumor, but the team's losing streak, injuries, and unclear return timelines have opened wider discussions about whether the Leafs must make changes soon. The next few weeks could shape big decisions. The Leafs are also dealing with other injuries, making the problem even bigger. With multiple players out at the same time, the team's depth is stretched thin. Matthews missing games adds to that challenge and impacts the whole lineup structure. This makes each upcoming game even more important, and the pressure continues to build. The next stretch on the schedule will test the Leafs further. Harder opponents are coming, and the team must find ways to compete without Matthews. Every shift without him adds more questions about the Leafs' ability to stay competitive in the standing. The timing of this injury has created a difficult path forward. Another rehook appears here. Fans are watching closely for any update because the season depends on Matthews' return. The energy in the building changes when he is missing. His presence brings momentum, confidence, and scoring threat. Without him, the Leafs' identity feels different, and that difference is showing in the result. Coach Berube said there is no timetable, which means Matthews' return could be soon, or it could take longer. That uncertainty is the hardest part for the team. Planning becomes difficult. Strategies must shift each game. Opponents know the Leafs are weakened, and that changes how other teams play against them. The Leafs front office must also prepare for the possibility of more games without Matthews. Pressure from fans, media, and analysts is influencing discussions about the roster. The losing streak and the unclear injury situation may force the team to consider changes if performance does not improve. Those discussions grow louder with every loss. Matthews continues to skate and work on recovery, but skating alone is not game readiness. The team wants to avoid rushing him back and risking a longer injury. Health comes first, But the season continues moving fast, and the Leafs need results soon to avoid a deeper slide. His return will be a major moment. It will change their lines, their confidence, and their ability to score. But until that moment arrives, the Leafs must fight through a stretch of losses, uncertainty, and questions that become more urgent each day. The story continues to unfold, and all eyes are on the next update about Auston Matthews, because right now, the Leafs need him more than ever.
And I think last night is the kind of accumulation of a lot of different things, and last night's a great warning to the group what happens when you're not ready to roll.
Something just shook the Edmonton Oilers locker room. After a crushing 9-1 loss, Connor McDavid stood up and called out his own team. He didn't dodge, he didn't sugarcoat. He said the Oilers were flat, no energy, no emotion. Coming from the captain, that means something. What he said next set the tone for the rest of the season. The Edmonton Oilers are under pressure. They've played 16 games this season, and their record stands at 6 wins, 6 losses, and 4 overtime losses. That's not what fans or the team expected. And after getting blown out 9-1 by the Colorado Avalanche, something had to be said. Connor McDavid said it.
Early on, obviously, we found an issue to bring some of that emotion, some of that energy to the game. That's not fighting. That's not anything. It's just bringing that energy, skating, a little bit more physical.
In his post-game comments, McDavid told reporters, "It's been flat. That starts with me as a leader. There's maybe not been enough energy, not enough emotion, and we have to find a way to bring some of that into the game." This wasn't just about one game. McDavid spoke about the team's attitude over several games. He said, "We all have a hand in bringing just a little bit more, emotionally, physically, and just to our game as a whole." McDavid has 22 points this season, 5 goals, and 17 assists, but he's also -6 at even strength. That shows even the best players on the team are getting outscored when they're on the ice. The loss to Colorado was Edmonton's worst home defeat since 2009. The Avalanche scored goal after goal, and the Oilers didn't have an answer. The team was down 4-0 after the first period, and it only got worse from there. This wasn't just a bad night. It was a wake-up call. The Oilers were supposed to be Cup contenders again. They reached the Stanley Cup final 2 seasons in a row, but right now, their play doesn't match that level. Over the last 10 games, their record is 4 wins, 3 losses, and 3 overtime losses. That's not terrible, but it's not what a contending team expects. Now, with McDavid calling for more effort and emotion, the whole organization is on alert. The message is clear. Things have to change now. McDavid's message wasn't just frustration, it was a warning, and it wasn't only for the player, it reached the coaching staff and front office too. When a captain speaks like this after a blowout loss, it signals a bigger problem inside the team. Coach Chris Knoblauch now faces pressure to respond. Line changes, goalie decisions, and defensive structure are all under review. The Oilers can't afford to let this slide. Their next games are critical. McDavid said, "We have to find a way to bring more." That starts immediately. McDavid's call for emotion matters. Hockey isn't just about skill. It's about fight. The Oilers haven't shown enough of it. They've looked flat, not just in one game, but over several. That's why his comments hit so hard. This also affects the fans. The Oilers have one of the most passionate fan bases in the NHL. A 9-1 home loss sting. And when your best player says the team isn't bringing enough, fans expect action. Behind the scenes, the organization must decide how to fix this. Trades, call-ups, system changes, it's not clear yet. But McDavid just put everyone on notice. He didn't blame others. He included himself, but he didn't stay quiet. His leadership now demands results. Not someday, but now. Edmonton's next games will say a lot. If they come out with speed, energy, and purpose, this could be the turning point. If not, bigger changes could follow. For now, one fact stands out. The Oilers captain just spoke louder than ever, and now the entire hockey world is watching how they answer.
It's against our standards, and I thought we played with some pretty high standards today, and again, saying that, it doesn't guarantee a victory. It doesn't mean it's perfect. But I felt our intentions were there. We were organized in our 5-on-5 play, and it was a good game. I thought we stayed patient. It's unfortunate we don't get the 2 point, but a lot of positive.
Martin St. Louis made a shocking announcement to the Montreal Canadiens on November 8, 2025. The goaltending controversy exploded 24 hours earlier when Jakub Dobes cried after losing. His veteran Samuel Montembeault ranked second worst in the NHL statistically. St. Louis canceled practice immediately. He called Dobes into his office. The decision he revealed would alter everything. Dobes stopped 24 of 28 shots in the 4-3 overtime defeat. His record dropped to 6-0-1. The loss came when Jesper Bratt scored 93 seconds into overtime with a backhand shot through the 5-hole. Dobes took full responsibility for the team's first overtime loss of the season. "We played good enough to win, just not good enough from my side," Dobes told reporters after the game. "I don't know, just really hard. This is a tough one. Just sucks. It happened last year, it happened this year. Lose to those guys in OT. So just disappointed in myself, that's pretty much it." The emotional display shocked media members present. NHL.com reporter Mike Montreal witnessed the scene firsthand. "Don't know if I've ever seen this before, but MTL rookie goalie Jakub Dobes, who entered this game 6-0-0, was literally in tears, blaming himself for the Canadiens' loss." Montreal posted on social media, "We, the media, tried to console him, telling him to keep his head up. Kid is putting so much pressure on himself." Martin St. Louis addressed the situation during his press conference. "Everybody handles situations differently, and he took it hard," St. Louis said. "It's probably a big reason why he's at this level. He's probably demanding of himself. We'll talk to Dobes. He's played really well for us." Teammates rushed to defend their goaltender. Defenseman Noah Dobson spoke with reporters after the game. Dobson said, "But it just shows the character and passion in this room. Everyone holds themselves to a high standard and wants to do what they can to help the team win. But we know in the room he's been a backbone for us this year, so there's no need for him to do that and put it on himself." This situation placed St. Louis in a difficult position regarding his goaltending rotation. Samuel Montembeault, the presumed starting goaltender, has struggled severely this season. The 28-year-old carries a 2-3 record with a 3.82 goals against average and .842 save percentage through 5 games. St. Louis maintained confidence in his struggling veteran. "If you ask me if I'm worried, no, I'm not worried," St. Louis said. The coach continued defending Montembeault's ability. "I didn't have a single idea in mind. We have 2 good goaltenders," St. Louis added. "Dobes is definitely having a good streak, but Monty is going to have streaks like that too. We're well equipped in front of the net." Dobes maintains elite statistics despite his first loss. He ranks 3rd in the NHL with a 2.25 goals against average. His .920 save percentage places him 4th among all goaltenders. The Czech netminder has started 6 of Montreal's last 8 games. Montembeault acknowledged his struggles publicly. "I know what I can do, and I've worked a lot the last 4 years to grow my game," Montembeault said. "Obviously not the best start so far, but we're going to keep working to get to where we were at." The goaltender revealed technical adjustments he's making. "I felt like during games I was shrinking a lot when guys were shooting or when I was trying to find pucks through screen," Montembeault explained. "I actually looked at myself in the glass the last practice, putting my blocker and my glove more outside and try to be more patient." Montreal sits first in the Atlantic Division with a 9-3-2 record. The Canadiens host the Utah Mammoth on November 8. St. Louis must choose between the emotional rookie seeking redemption and the veteran fighting to regain his form.
Do we get it perfect? Not necessarily, because sometimes you want matchup, you want the right flow for your players as well. So sometimes you're caught in between and you try to make a quick decision on the spot, and you're going to make mistakes at times.
Martin St. Louis just sent shockwaves through the Montreal Canadiens. With one decision, the coach ended weeks of speculation about who controls the net. The announcement dropped like a live wire. Quick, clear, and final. The goalie order is no longer a secret, and the impact of this choice is already echoing across the NHL. St. Louis confirmed that Jakub Dobes would start in goal. The young Czech goalie entered the matchup undefeated, with 5 straight wins and a save rate near .940. His calm play and low goals against numbers have been key in early victory. Across the rink, veteran Samuel Montembeault carried a losing record and had allowed more than 3 goals per game. The numbers told a clear story, and the coach acted on it. The decision marked a shift in Montreal's net. Dobes had only joined the NHL the previous season, debuting with a 34-save shutout against the defending champion. Few goalies in team history had opened their careers that way. He followed that game with a another strong performance against Colorado, building confidence each start. The team's staff and reporters began asking whether a true competition was forming between the two goalies. Montembeault, 28, has been Montreal's regular starter since last year. He played more than 60 games and kept his save percentage near .900. His experience made him the safe choice, but the team's recent struggles led to review. St. Louis said the team would rely on the goalie who gives them the best chance to win. He described both as good options, but added that internal competition was important for progress. Analysts described the move as the coach riding the hot hand. It wasn't a full change of starter, but it placed Dobeš in the spotlight. Reporters noted that it showed faith in youth and performance rather than seniority. Fans online reacted instantly. Some agreed that the rookie earned it. Others believed Montembeault deserved another chance to reset. Earlier in the year, the Canadiens extended Dobeš on a short contract worth just under $2 million, suggesting confidence in his development. That deal now looks timely. Management is monitoring both goalies closely as the team adjusts through its early season schedule. For Montreal, the announcement turned a routine rotation into a headline. St. Louis didn't raise his voice or use big words. He just confirmed who would stand in the crease, and that single choice shook the team's entire goaltending picture. After the announcement, the Canadiens camp grew tense. Inside the team, the message was clear. Performance now decides who gets the net. There are no long guarantees. St. Louis said the team must choose the goalie who gives the best chance to win right now. His words showed that results, not rank, will decide every start. Jakub Dobeš has created strong momentum. The rookie was drafted late, but rose quickly through the team's system. In his first NHL season, he recorded one of the best starts for any Montreal goalie in the last decade. His shutout in his debut made headlines across sports outlets. Reporters noted that only 3 goalies in Canadiens history had opened their career that way. Since then, Dobeš has been steady, showing consistency in games at home and away. Montembeault, on the other hand, has faced more challenges. He began the year with a high goals against average and admitted that his timing and positioning needed adjustment. He told reporters, "It's just getting back to the basics, breathe and stay in the moment, and then just play my game." St. Louis responded by saying, "I'm not worried that Sam is going to stop puck. The way Dobeš is playing buys a little time for him to work on his thing." The organization has also made moves that show Dobeš is part of its future. His new contract runs for 2 years and pays just under $2 million. For a developing goalie, that is an early vote of confidence. Meanwhile, Montembeault remains under a longer deal, but now faces higher competition for start. Team insiders reported that players have supported both goalies. During practice, teammates said the energy between Dobeš and Montembeault remains professional. There is no public sign of tension. Still, reporters say the locker room feels the change. Every player knows that goalie confidence can shift the tone of an entire season. When St. Louis stood before the microphones, he didn't frame the move as bold. He called it consistent with the plan. Yet, for many around the team, it was the kind of plan that changes the story. The Canadiens now have a young goalie who's winning, a veteran who's adjusting, and a coach who refuses to settle for past records. The decision that began with one quiet statement has turned the Montreal crease into the most watched spot on the team.
Face off of the offensive zone for the Hawks. There's a shot there. Oh, he scores a hat-trick goal for Connor Bedard. And here come the Hats.
Connor Bedard didn't just play his best game, he dismantled expectation. Every shot carried precision, every shift felt charged, and his third goal silenced any remaining doubt. But behind that celebration, whispers began around the NHL, and what insiders noticed after the final horn has left everyone waiting for answers.
Ottawa, Doc scores! Banks it in off Walmart. On the rebound on a delayed call, Colton Doc makes it 1-0 Hawks.
The Blackhawks struck early inside the United Center in Chicago. At 6:47 of the first period, Colton Doc picked up a rebound off a Louis Crevier drive and scored from the left faceoff circle. According to NHL.com, the puck came off the right point and Doc hammered it home for the 1-0 lead.
Bedard scores! Might have been tipped. Crevier with the shot off the boards. Hawks make it 2-0.
Less than 7 minutes later at 12:06, Crevier himself made it 2-0. He retrieved the puck outside the right circle and fired a one-timer which deflected off Ottawa defenseman Nicholas Matinpalo and into the net.
And it's 3-0 Hawks.
who's got a good feel to his game, but it's a face-off win by Frank Nazar. That's the key. Then you go D to the winger to the...
Then Bedard got rolling. At 17:53 of the first period, Bedard scored on the power play. He took a pass from Andrei Burakovsky, fired a wrist shot from the right circle past Linus Ullmark for the 3-0 lead. Into the second period, Bedard struck again. At 2:58, he carried the puck into the zone, used a toe drag move, and snapped a high slot wrist shot past Ullmark, making it 4-0. The Senators mounted a brief rally. Jake Sanderson scored at 4:58 when a 55-foot slap shot caromed off the end boards and Spencer Knight's left elbow before going in. Michael Amadio scored at 7:09 when he skated from behind the net and lifted the puck over Knight. Then at 8:31, Tim Stützle trimmed the lead to 4-3.